What do you do when life takes everything, but you keep giving anyway? Keanu Reeves isn't just a beloved actor. He's a man who's been through loss, heartbreak, and tragedy, and somehow came out kinder, not colder. In a world where fame often breeds ego, Keanu stayed grounded, generous, and humble. In this video, we're breaking down the real story, how he lost the people closest to him, walked through grief, and still became one of the most respected, admired stars in Hollywood. This isn't just about success. It's about surviving with your soul intact. Stick around, because Keanu's story might just change how you carry your own pain. An unstable childhood full of goodbyes. Keanu Reeves' life started off shaky. Born in Beirut in 1964, his father left when Keanu was just 3. After that, he moved constantly, from Lebanon to Australia to Canada. Following his mother's multiple marriages, he struggled in school, was diagnosed with dyslexia, and often felt like an outsider. With no stable father figure and no consistent home, Keanu learned early that life could shift overnight, but instead of hardening, he grew curious. That instability gave him a quiet depth, a sensitivity he'd carry into his characters and his real life. While other kids had structure, Keanu had change, and it made him adaptable, resilient, and open-hearted. He never chased fame, he chased the craft. Keanu didn't get into acting for the spotlight. He got in because storytelling gave him purpose. He started in theater, then landed small TV roles before breaking through with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure in 1989. Even when the fame hit, he stayed low-key. No big entourage, no wild headlines, just work. He turned down massive paychecks to stay in roles he believed in. He studied directors. He trained relentlessly. He wasn't trying to be a star. He was trying to get better. And that quiet commitment set him apart. He wasn't building a brand. He was building character on and off screen. The death of his best friend, River Phoenix. In 1993, Keanu lost one of his closest friends, actor River Phoenix, to a drug overdose. The two had worked together on My Own Private Idaho and shared a deep artistic bond. River's death hit Keanu hard. He said very little about it publicly, but those who know him say it changed him. It made him quieter, more introspective. That loss taught him that life doesn't wait, that people can be here one day and gone the next. And instead of spiraling, he internalized that truth and started living with even more humility, intention, and care. Grief didn't harden him. It deepened him. Love, pregnancy, and sudden heartbreak. In the late 1990s, Keanu was in love with actress Jennifer Syme. In 1999, they were expecting a baby girl. But tragedy struck. Syme gave birth to their daughter stillborn at 8 months. The loss shattered them. The couple drifted apart, unable to heal together. Keanu rarely spoke of it, but friends say he carried that pain quietly. He was filming The Matrix at the time, doing stunts by day and grieving by night. He didn't ask for sympathy. He just kept going. Because sometimes survival is quiet. It's not loud or dramatic. It's just showing up, even when your heart is broken. Losing Jennifer in a tragic accident. Less than 2 years after losing their daughter, Keanu's ex-partner Jennifer Syme died in a car crash. It was another crushing blow. First the child, now the woman he had loved. He was only 36 and had lost more than most do in a lifetime. But he didn't spiral into drugs or headlines. He mourned in silence, processed in solitude, and kept his kindness intact. That's what makes Keanu remarkable. Tragedy didn't strip his humanity. It revealed it. He carried his pain without inflicting it on others. He never let loss turn him bitter. He let it shape him into someone more empathetic, more present. The Matrix made him rich, but he gave it away. The Matrix turned Keanu into an action icon and earned him millions. But instead of flashing his wealth, he quietly gave away most of his earnings. He gifted over $70 million to the special effects and costume teams, saying they were the real heroes behind the scenes. He didn't do it for press. Most people didn't know for years. That kind of generosity is rare in Hollywood. For Keanu, success was meant to be shared. He said, "Money is the last thing I think about. I could live on what I've already made for centuries." He doesn't chase excess. He chooses impact. He rides the subway and gives up his seat. Despite his fame, Keanu lives like a regular guy. He's been spotted riding the New York subway, helping tourists with directions, and offering his seat to strangers. No cameras, no publicist, just him being decent. He carries his own bags. He eats alone at cafes. He listens more than he talks. That humility isn't an act, it's who he is. In a world obsessed with status, Keanu opts out. He's not trying to impress you. He's trying to respect you. That everyday kindness is why people love him, not because he's famous, but because he's real. Kindness on and off set. Ask anyone who's worked with Keanu, and you'll hear the same thing. He's respectful, generous, and down to earth. He takes time to learn crew members' names. He buys wrap gifts for stunt teams. He stays behind to thank extras. One story stands out. When a fan's car broke down on the way to see him, Keanu waited hours until they arrived. No ego, no drama, just gratitude. He doesn't treat kindness like a strategy. It's just his default setting. And in an industry that often breeds arrogance, that humility is revolutionary. Being a good person doesn't cost anything. But with Keanu, it's worth everything. He turns down roles that don't align with his soul. Keanu isn't driven by fame or money. He's driven by meaning. He's turned down blockbuster roles and big checks if the story didn't feel right. He walked away from Speed 2, despite a multi-million-dollar offer, because he didn't believe in the sequel. He took pay cuts so films like The Devil's Advocate and The Replacements could hire better talent. That integrity is rare. He chooses roles that feed his spirit, not just his wallet. Whether it's an indie drama or an action trilogy, he shows up 100% because for Keanu, every role is personal. Every decision is deliberate. Art, motorcycles, and finding peace in motion. Keanu's passions go beyond film. He's a co-founder of Arch Motorcycle Company and finds peace in the open road. Riding clears his mind, just like reading and music. He's deeply philosophical, often quoting literature or poetry in interviews. He once said, "Grief changes shape, but it never ends." He doesn't numb pain, he transforms it. That emotional intelligence sets him apart. He's not afraid to talk about mortality, sadness, or solitude. He embraces the full human experience and channels it into art. Whether it's acting, writing, or simply being still, Keanu lives fully and invites us to do the same. He lives simply, loves deeply, and keeps moving forward. Keanu doesn't live in a mansion. He doesn't flaunt luxury. He's said to live in a modest home, often wears the same clothes, and enjoys quiet nights in. But don't confuse simplicity with smallness. His life is intentionally rich, in peace, in depth, in purpose. He's in a relationship with artist Alexandra Grant, someone who shares his quiet, creative spirit. After everything he's lost, he's still open to love, still open to life. That's the most powerful part of his story. He never shut down. He kept his heart open, even when it hurt. That's real strength. The tragedy-forged hero Hollywood didn't deserve. Keanu Reeves has suffered more than most stars you see on screen. But instead of becoming hard, he became heroic. Not because of the roles he plays, but because of the man he is. He took every loss and turned it into quiet wisdom. He made millions and gave it away. He faced death and gave back life. His story proves that you can go through hell and still be someone's light. Hollywood didn't make him kind. Life did. And that's what makes him unforgettable. Not the movies, not the money, but the soul behind it all. Keanu Reeves is living proof that you can survive the darkest storms and still choose compassion. He's a reminder that kindness isn't weakness, it's strength with scars. If his story moved you, hit like, drop a comment, and share this with someone who needs a reminder that pain doesn't have to break you. And don't forget to subscribe to Spark Your Soul, where we bring you stories that speak to your heart and remind you of the good that still exists in the world. Be kind, stay strong, keep going.